Hey, what's going on, guys? Aalon Cruz here at Kaizen, Tampa. Today we're gonna go over the head and arm triangle. I think it's a very versatile choke. Call them side chokes, head and arm triangle here all the time. It's very good for MMA, pure jiu-jitsu, or self-defense. And even if I don't get the choke, we're gonna end up on top. So for me, this is an A1 choke. So let's get into it. Alright, today so we're working on the head and arm triangle. Most people out there don't know shit about head and arm triangles, okay? AKA a side choke, arm triangle. Luckily I've had a few good instructors I've trained under that this is like what they're obsessed with. Coach Aalon 10 Planet, side chokes. Side chokes are everything. Ybor City Jiu-Jitsu Club, Joey Best, arm triangles. So this is where I've learned it from the best. Marcelo Garcia, name drops. Anyway, so I'm here. I'm gonna give y'all a entry into the head and arm triangle, one of my favorite entries, because yeah, I could just go straight into the technique, but if you don't know how to get there or you haven't had a entry to get into it before, you'll have one now. So this is like a 2-in-1 video. You're welcome. So I'm here, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna lock my legs up underneath Manny's hamstrings here, okay? I'm also gonna be pulling up on Manny's head the whole time. This is where I like to play mount a lot. Okay, I'm really gonna be active and pushing my hips into Manny's stomach and lifting his legs off the ground. Notice how my lower back is engaged here. Essentially what I'm doing to Manny's body is I'm turning him into a turtle. Okay, right? Turtles are on their back and they can't get up, right? Because their shells are like this. So they can't roll or get on their back or anything like that, right? If they were able to put their feet on the ground, they can start doing something. Or put their hand on the ground, they can start doing something. So Manny's here. We can go real in depth, but it's gonna be quick. So I'm here, I lift his legs off the ground, I pick his head up off the ground. He really doesn't have a great base to start escaping here, okay? Now, how I like to set up my head and arm triangle from here. I got Manny here, I'm holding his head up. Preferably for me, my right side is my good side. So I'm gonna start shooting under his arm, ideally, get my hands here, palm to the ground. Once I have the palm to the ground, I'm just gonna start doing the walking hand of death. I just start scooting my hand up slowly, okay? Slowly. He's gonna be resisting and it's gonna be really hard for him to stop me from getting my hand all the way past his head, okay? Notice where his arm's at. From here, I just need to make sure that I get my head to the other side of his tricep so that I don't let go of this first and then he brings his hand back down, okay? And then I have to do the thing all over again. So once I've gotten all the way up here, walking hand of death, I drop my head up underneath his tricep, and I trap it. From here, I'm gonna go ahead and lift his head up off the ground, and I'm gonna start gathering. I call this gathering here. Here, I gather up all the space from underneath his head, trying to get this nice and tight. Once I get to here, essentially, I'm not really rushing. I know I'm gonna get this head and arm triangle. It's just a matter of time of how long it's gonna take me to set everything how I want it, and then just making sure I keep control of him the entire time, okay? So I lift his head up if I need more space, and I gather. Boom. Once I'm here, I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna push the tricep in, and I'm gonna drop my head down to the side, and then swivel it back in to Manny's head. When we end up finishing this head and arm triangle, my head should be touching the ground and Manny's head at the same time. Even if he's doing answer the telephone like he is now, I'm gonna squeeze straight through it, okay? So I'm here, I push his tricep in, dig my head down next to his head. From here, I'm gonna go ahead, you wanna come on this side? I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go gable grip. This is how I like to finish this choke. The hand is coming around the head and arm, it's gonna be palm down. Palm down, gable grip, no thumbs, just slap right on top, boom. Now I'm gonna kind of motorcycle grip this top hand just a little bit. When I mean by motorcycle grip is like you're on a motorcycle and trying to hit the accelerator. I'm just gonna motorcycle grip this just a little bit, okay? Head is nice and tight. Taking my left elbow and I'm gonna suck it in and drop my body on top of it. I wanna be able to lay completely flat on top of my elbow by the time I'm finishing this choke here, okay? Where a lot of people make a mistake and they start losing space is when they try to finish the choke like this with their elbow out. This is giving him space. It's taking away the space that I need to get rid of, right? So I slide this in, boom. I like to finish my head and arm triangles from mount, if possible. So I'm here, everything's set. I'm gonna drop the same side hip to the ground. Notice my other leg is kind of just sitting on top of Manny's stomach, kind of based out, right? From here, I'm gonna go ahead. I usually start percentage-wise, for me, around 60 to 70% squeezing. Even when I have everything set and everything's in correctly, he's already starting to choke. He knows it's tight. Really, I don't even have to squeeze anything. But let's say this guy's tough and he's not tapping just due to my perfect lock, then I'm gonna start squeezing. And I'm gonna go 60, and then I'll work up to 65, 70, 75, and so forth. All right, I never loosen up. I also don't go 100% and then let go, right? Because what happens is, Manny's tough. He's been grappling for a while. He knows that if I go 100%, I can only hold this for so long, and then I'm gonna let go. And I'm gonna squeeze again, and then he just has to outlast the initial burst, right? That's what guys do all the time. They're here and they squeeze things, they go 100%, and then they let go. 100%, and let go. And they don't know why they're not finishing the choke. You need consistent, slow pressure, okay? It's just like when they're crushing apples. They're crushing apples and trying to get all the juice out of the apple. It just keeps compressing and compressing and compressing. Imagine if they just went like this and hit an apple like that. It would just splatter everywhere. You wouldn't get any of the juices, okay? So Manny's the apple, I'm the machine. So I'm here, I've taken up my space. So now I've got everything set. I drop my hip, and then now I'm just gonna slowly increase my pressure until Manny taps. I didn't really use a lot of energy. I'm not tired. I could do this for probably a minute or two. He's just gonna keep thinking, where is this choke ending? Or he's gonna black out. Another big important detail. Notice my elbow. This elbow does not leave the ground. When I go for this head and arm triangle, a lot of people lose the pressure, even if they're doing everything correctly, because they go like this. He's not even him coming up, but just getting my elbow off the ground, even a little bit, I lose a lot of pressure. I lose a lot of pressure here, okay? It's like the old paper cutters that we used to use in school. If you're old enough to know what a paper cutter is, you put the paper in and you drop it down. If that paper cutter were to move, you wouldn't really get a good cut on that paper, right? So when I go here and I drop, I need to keep this elbow pinned to the ground the entire time. Notice my elbow does not come off the ground. It's completely pinned to the ground the whole time. Like I said, then I squeeze. We finish. If I need more space taken up, I can look into Manny. I got this from Coach Casey, 10 Planet Vegas. I'm here, I look into Manny. Takes up just a little more space. It's a small little tip. If you're used to finishing your head and arm triangles to side control, we can definitely do that, right? So I'm here, I'm all set up. I pop off the mount, okay? This is directly from Joey Best at Ybor City Jiu-Jitsu Club. What he likes to do is he picks his feet up in the air and he walks on his knees as he circles, keeping my elbow pinned the whole time, just like this, okay? Now what that does, if you notice, as I'm moving my hips, it keeps my hips completely flat to the ground, because people tend to go like this. And what am I doing? My hips are coming off the ground, I'm creating space, so that means I'm losing pressure here. I need to have this grip set up like this, right? It's almost like I've got a 90-degree angle. All points of contact are to the ground here, and I leave this grip behind. Because look what happens as I leave this grip behind and I get further and further away. This space here becomes smaller, okay? This is my paper cutter, right? I put the paper in, I cut the paper, boom, boom. Here, boom, walk, 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 walk until he taps. Now people say, oh, what if he pulls my leg back into half guard? That's cool too. As long as, or actually let me start from, let me do it from side control first. This is where you would get this. So I've gathered up all my space, right? Remember I had this here. Everything's set in place. Now, let's say Manny pulls me back into half guard with his leg. That's fine. As long as I stay low, it really doesn't change what my choke is doing. He's still gonna tap, right? Notice my hips, my grip, where my head was at, nothing changed. The only thing that changed was him grabbing my leg. All right, one more time. I'm here, I'm nice and tight, hold on. I'm here, he starts to grab my leg, pull into half guard. Cool, look, literally nothing changed in my upper body. I just keep my steady pressure and I finish. If Manny does the, answer the phone, right? This is what people do. You're gonna choke straight through this, okay? I did everything correctly. I put my head down. Straight through this. This will not save you. What will save you is preventative, is getting this arm straight next to your head before he even gets that far to getting this head and arm triangle. Because now, once I start going for this, he's safe. It's gonna suck for him because I'm choking his one side of his neck and one of his arteries is out, but this one's blocking his own artery from getting choked out, right? That's how this whole choke works, is my shoulder on this side is blocking off this one artery, his own shoulder is blocking off his other artery. Stops the blood flow to the brain, he passes out. So if he's preventative and gets his hand above, I can't make his shoulder go into his other artery. So this is my number one first. I'm gonna get my arm in here. I'm probably gonna start trying to look into me, right? He wants to look into me, yes. I'm probably gonna start bailing on this and doing something else, okay? I'm not really gonna go too far into what we would do if it's a full head and arm triangle deep. That'll be for another video. But for now, try these out, try these tips out, leave some comments, like, share. If you guys have any questions, I'll try and answer them. I hope you guys enjoyed that. We really went deep into the weeds on that head and arm triangle. Lots of details. Come back, maybe save this video, and when you want to try it out for your next class, rewatch it. Like every time, I guarantee you're gonna see another little detail that's gonna help out, make your head and arm triangle just a little bit better. If you want to see more, click, comment, subscribe, like, share this with your friends, share this with your instructors. We always love feedback, so please ask questions and I'll see if I can answer them. Follow Kaizen Tampa on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Go ahead and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.